So this is going to be an exercise equipment review of the Titan Fitness chest supported T-bar row machine. Overall, I give this a big thumbs up. I'm a huge fan of this purchase. It was very easy to set up. It was very affordably priced. Oftentimes, I know this is a little bit of a niche machine, but oftentimes you can find something cheaper on a resale, Facebook Marketplace, something like that. Sometimes Titan Fitness, you can find something cheaper than that. And it's a brand new piece of equipment. So I think their equipment is extremely reasonably priced, and surprisingly good quality for being a very cheap price. Um, Overall, I'm a huge fan of this machine. This does not come with a plate or clips. These were a plate and clips that I already had. And I would recommend using clips. You have to test it out for yourself for your body dimensions, but often for me at the bottom, the weight starts to slide off if I don't have a clip on there. But not too big of a deal. We have a handlebar, so you can do an overhand grip, underhand grip, or the neutral grip. The only modification I made to the handlebars is I prefer using an overhand grip. And so the pads on here are nice, but I took them off on here so I could actually use wrist straps on it. I couldn't quite tighten the wrist straps down to use them when I had this pad that gives me a nice grip. Nothing wrong with it. Great for most people probably to have these pads on here, and they're nice pads, but I personally took them off so I could use wrist straps. This handle piece is adjustable up and down. This would kind of be my only complaint with it, is that in order to move this thing up and down, there's 3 screws that you have to undo and to move it up and down. It's just me using it, and so I have the handlebars where I need it, and so I've never needed to move this, so it really doesn't matter for me. If anyone would want to move it up and down, it would be nice to have a pin loaded, up and down. I understand that's going to make it less stable, but it might be nice if you could figure out a way to make that stable. But I mean, for the most part, I think a lot of people might just want it in one position. I don't think anyone necessarily needs it, because it all has to be relative to where the chest pad's going to be, unless you're going to be hanging way over the top of the chest pad, but then you're kind of engaging your back just to stabilize yourself. It's kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a chest supported row. So these pull up near the top of here, at the top, just so that'll be roughly around where your armpit level will be on the pad. This back piece is adjustable. The foot pad is adjustable, so it can move up or down for a taller or shorter individual. I'm 6 foot tall, and it works great for me. I can find a phenomenal settings for me that work really well for my body dimensions. If you're dramatically taller or dramatically shorter than me, you might have some issues. It's fairly adjustable in the back. I'm sort of on the middle setting, or maybe a little bit on the shorter side. So maybe this is a little bit more built for taller people, but that's just kind of the case with any machine, is that someone who's 5 foot tall and someone who's 6'6", oftentimes their body dimensions don't really fit some machines, but that's just kind of the nature of the beast. But overall, phenomenal piece of equipment. I can show you a few rows. Got just this nice stand near the top, and it works just fine. The only thing is, another minor complaint, very minor, I would have, is that the way this joint is set up back here, the lever, it doesn't really work if you wanted to do like a two arms up, 1 arm down movement, because it becomes too unstable. It really tilts it to the side, and I just feel like that's putting a lot of bad strain on that joint, and it's going to break it. So I don't know, a way to fix that would be maybe have 2 joints next to each other, so it'd be stabilized if you would just only use 1 arm, or if you want to use a 1 arm row. It's not really good for 1 arm rows, in my view, because it really twists and twerks it back there. And so if I have a lot of weight on here, I feel like I'd be damaging that joint. Not a huge complaint, but just one thing. So there's 2 minor complaints. Was this would be nice to have this pin loaded, moving up and down, maybe with multiple pins to secure it. Make sure it's not unstable, and then I don't know if taller, and then and then I don't know if taller or shorter people would want more adjustment on the foot pad to move it all the way up, all the way down, and then making two joints, or a more larger stable joint back here to stabilize if you want to do single arm rows, or the 2 arm 2 up 1 down method. But overall, Titan Fitness, chest supported, T-bar row, overall love it. I love the T-bar row exercise in general, because not only do you have to pull back, you also kind of have to push down at the same time because you're kind of moving on that arc of a movement pathway. Phenomenal exercise, engages quite a bit of muscles in your back. And then I also like the chest supported version, because then you can do more reps, you can focus more on your back. You don't have to focus more on just your ability to stabilize the weight. Like if you're comparing this to a bent over barbell row or a T-bar row with a barbell, which is essentially very similar to a bent over barbell row where you have to stabilize the weight and then row. Having the chest supported, you're gonna be able to push way closer to failure, and you're gonna be way safer doing so. And you'll be able to put so much more of the stimulus into your back and not necessarily into your glutes, into your hamstrings, into your lower back, just to stabilize the movement. So that's why I'm a huge fan of this for hypertrophy goal. Have a chest supported row. That's why I purchased this. Overall, phenomenal. Would definitely recommend it. Couple minor complaints, but nothing major.